In this demo, we're going to go ahead and create a DFS namespace. You saw in our previous demo what we did is we actually installed the DFS service, but we didn't create a DFS namespace. Now the way we're going to go ahead and do that is we can go through and we can go into DFS management. Now we go into DFS management. This is the console where you're going to do your administration and configuration of this actual service. What we're going to do over here is going to do new namespace. We'll click on new namespace. It's going to say, okay, what server is going to host the namespace? Well, we're just going to say, for right now, we'll just do a quick, find now on it. It should actually be, our, server, so server 01. So we'll click next on that. Now, what it's going to do is in our next step, it's telling us, okay, it doesn't have the distributed file system service running. Do you want the service to set it to automatic to start it? Yeah. Well, we saw in our previous demo it didn't actually start it yet. Well, now it needs to be started, so we're going to go ahead now. Next thing, we're going to go through and name the namespace. We'll name the namespace really anything we want. So we'll just go ahead and say, we'll call it company, projects. Once it's gone through and done that, we'll go through, we'll click next. It's going to say, okay, well, you have two options, domain and standalone. Now you can see domain is grayed out. Well, we're not a member of a domain here, so we would expect it to be grayed out. So the only option is to do standalone. Now, the reason why you would do it on a domain is to make it so it's more resilient and flexible, and you leverage all the power of Active Directory and replication in there. Standalone, it has its own benefits on there. We can just put it on. We can just attain levels of availability and fault tolerance by putting it on a cluster. So right now, what we're looking at is here's the namespace that we're creating. You can see it's on this server. It's under a name called Company Project. So I'll click next. Here's just where you go through and confirm that. That's fine. We'll go ahead and click create. It's creating the namespace, or it's going through and it's saying, okay, we'll span this out here. It's changing it's starting the service. That's when earlier on in our process it said, oh, the DFS service isn't started. It started for us. Okay, now it's gone through and created the namespace. Any errors? No. Great. That's what we want to see. So we click close on here and we open up this tab, and I'll move this over for you so you can see it all. We see server 01 company projects. I can go through and click on that. Well, there's nothing been created in it yet. I can go over here and create new folders underneath it, for additional, management of here. These are our actual folder targets. So we're just going through and saying, okay, well, here's a folder target, and here's the folder it points to. So we just go create the folder name, and the target says the share it's going to point to on the back end, and then we can even go through and do delegation to say, okay, who can control these different objects on DFS, but we're not going to do that for right now. So at this point, we've created a DFS namespace, and we can go on to our next step.